Before we can get started with anything, first we need to get Android Studio. I've left a link in the description to the Android Studio downloads page, but you can also find it by googling Android Studio download, and it'll usually be the first result. Go ahead and download the installer. You'll be automatically given the right one for your operating system. Now go through the installation process. After which, open Android Studio and create a new project. The first thing you will see will be this gallery of different templates, and let's pick Empty Activity. This next screen lets us configure our project settings. We can leave these all to default and proceed, but if you want to know what they are, I'll put it all down in the description. Once you finish creating your app, you'll see one file open, mainactivity.kt. This is the Kotlin file that represents the screen you see when you run your app. In fact, let's figure out how to do that. If you have one, you can use a physical Android device. To set one up, get your device and go into its settings, into About Phone, and look for the build number. Tap this a number of times until it says you are now a developer. Now go into your system settings. You'll find a new section called Developer Options. In there, search for USB debugging and enable this. It'll give you a warning and you can respond OK to that. Now plug in your device to your computer. After this, you'll see your device is now selected in Android Studio. The other way to run your app is to use an emulator, which is an Android device you can run from inside your computer. In Android Studio, click on this phone icon here on the top right to open the device manager. Click Create Virtual Device to start the wizard. From this list of device configurations, medium phone is a good one to pick. Now you want to select what Android version your emulator will run on. Pick one among the latest standard versions. The final screen allows you to configure some other settings, but the defaults will work fine for us, so we can go ahead and click Finish. Using an emulator is great because you don't need to have a physical device handy, but depending on the performance of your computer, it can be a little bit slow to use because it takes up a lot of memory. Now let's run our app. In the drop-down menu here on top, make sure your physical or emulated device is selected and click the play button. Your app may take a minute to build, but once it's done, your app should run on your device. With all that said and done, you're ready to start learning how to build an Android app.